The first formula I'm going to give you, and it's going to be the basis for where we're going, is called the dot product. And CP&M actually has you do a derivation for this that's highly complex. I was actually really struggling with it. It took me like 20 or 30 minutes. I think it's a waste of time. It hurts your brain, but in terms of the time we have, I'd rather just give you the formula. So we're not going to derive this. I'm just going to give you the formula, and you just have to trust me on this. Given two vectors, say our first vector, we'll call it V. In component form, you have V1 and V2. And then you have a second vector called W. We'll call the components W1 and W2. So we just have two different vectors now. Instead of adding them, the dot product of these two vectors is V times W. So now the idea is we're multiplying two vectors. V times W will equal V1 times W1 plus V2 times W2. Okay, and I know it probably looks complex, but it's actually rather quite simple. Now, a couple things about this. Your answer, when you solve for this, is not a vector. You're not going to get like an x and a y in component form. Your answer is actually what we call a scalar, which you guys think of as a coefficient. It's a scalar product. So your answer is just going to be a number. You're going to get a single number. And it's going to represent a scalar or a coefficient. So that's the first part of this. And we'll get some practice with this in a sec. The second thing you need to know is how to finding the angle between two vectors. Now the component form for this, and I'm going to give you two formulas. You know what? I'm just going to give you one of the formulas. Cosine of theta equals V times W, which is your dot product, which we looked at above, over the magnitude of V times the magnitude of W. Now, a couple things to point out here. All these terms should be familiar. V times W is the dot product. It's that formula we used above. And then, do you guys remember these parallel lines from last week, what they represent? Magnitude, very good. Do you know how to find the magnitude? Yeah, we know how to find the magnitude. So you actually know how to do these operations, is just putting the skills together. This is your second formula.